Good afternoon. Think we're about 4 or 5 days since I last recorded. Didn't do too much. Done the sound editing all the way around. Finished a couple of other bits like wheel arches. Done all the sides around. Whatever I skipped in the last videos I remember. Took the side plastics off. I didn't film it. Took them all off. Cleaned up. Might attach a couple of photos if my iPhone saved them right and it matches the resolution and all the other stuff. Took them all off. Sikaflexed the plastic bits. Put them back on. Gave a wash with a hose. Don't see any leaks. At least no major ones. If I can't see them, that means there could be minor ones, but you know, it's inevitable at the end of the day. I've done my best to seal it all off. I would say there's no way anything's getting in because I used a fair bit of Sikaflex to a point where I don't think those plastic clips will come out ever again. But the way the plastic trim is designed, it can't pop off the clips, so if in future I need to get it off, which I will do because I think I might have screwed up 2 of the side marker lights, so I'll need to replace them at some stage. But obviously those things are pretty much later. Now we know it's not leaking from the outside, we can start insulating all the way around. Done a fair bit of shopping and a fair bit of parcels have arrived, so we got a couple of jobs for today that I think might have to postpone some of them because woke up, it was nice and sunny by the time I had breakfast and a shower. We got drizzle now, so we'll see if I'm gonna do them or not. So in the first box, what do we have is rear light, rear light housing. I think it's only, if it's anything like in a Citroen that I've done before, it should be just 2 or 4 bolts. Get those off, get a housing off, put a new one in, because on the outside, the one that the van came with has a cracked bottom and basically it looks like a dog chewed the corner off. There's a tiny little dent in the body, but someone's already been with a bit of a hammer all over it, so we kind of covered that. Next thing that we got is the original cable for there, so instead of jerry rigging it or ghetto fixing it, I decided just to actually grab an original part. I think it was about £20, £21. If anyone's interested, the part number is there. But all the part numbers are on all the cables. If you see this little, just little foamy insulation around it, you can always just move it a little bit and you'll be able to see the part number on there. So went the route deciding to replace with an original part. Next in line, we got 2 boxes for this one. So we will start with a monitor, LED color monitor. Nice and simple, 7-inch little monitor. With a couple of possibilities to fix it somewhere on a panel. There was some that go instead of the rear view mirror. Not that you need one in here, but there's a fixing to go for the mirror. But I went with this one because I don't want to put anything on the window itself, because in the future the window will be replaced at some stage, because it's got cracks, it's got scratches on it from like where the window wipers go. Looks like someone ran it with a worn off window wiper or whatever and scratched the window in a couple of places. As well, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we might be going with the Remis blinds, and you need a clear way for those to actually go fully around with no sort of adaptations or whichever. So that's the monitor. And then in this little package we've got obviously I already unpacked it, so I'm just showing it to you guys. Reversing camera, it goes for the top brake light. Comes with no insides or anything like that, so we're gonna have to take the original one out. With it raining at the moment, I'm not sure I want to do that job today because I need to get on the roof, get that off, clean it, put this in. It's got this rubber seal around, as well as a pre-cut oh yeah, as well as this pre-cut foamy part, but we're going to be using Sikaflex as well, just to make sure it doesn't leak. Then you got one of the cables, and then you, power cable for the feet, which we're going to have to splice this into the reversing light cable. So it would come up every time we would engage reverse in the van. And then we got the long one that actually connects to the camera and goes all the way to the monitor. So I might pre-fit this today, pre-fit the monitor, potentially find which are which for the cable. So I'll take off some of the plastic housing and see where is the best to splice into. Watched a couple of videos on other YouTubers doing it, and yeah, let's hope that will work out. Instruction wise, it's pretty much all you get. So yeah, a manual which will show you what goes where. It's a little diagram on here you can have a look at when the all comes, and it's basically saying take the camera. There's a 6.5 meter long cable from the monitor to the camera. So with the camera wiring, you need to go into the backup light power, and the other cable black goes ground, which we should be a bolt somewhere there for ground, so we can ground it into the chassis. With the video monitor cable, strangely it does not have, it might be in the monitor box for the monitor wiring in, but we're gonna have to find a positive and a negative somewhere there. Potentially I don't want a one that's running all the time, so I might take it off the reverse there, or take it off a cigarette lighter or radio. We'll see eventually what I'll do about that. First today I just want to pre-wire the lead at the best, find a place for the monitor, and see what I can do about that. What else did I get? Yesterday 3 windows arrived. I went for camper van windows instead of the nice looking bonded windows, but there's a couple of reasons with that. They're a little bit easier to finish off around because you need, well, they're harder to fit, much harder to fit from what I've seen so far. Not attempted that, but I've done the bonded windows and they're very straightforward. Just cut along the lines, apply a bit of a bonding sealant, well, not a bit, a fair bit, put them on, hold them for 12 hours, that's about it. With these ones we will have to do a lot of measuring for the holes to actually try to get them in the right places. So I was walking past, so yeah, do that and build the wooden frame around for the window to go into. I've just pre-checked one of the windows yesterday for about a couple of minutes, so I'm not 100% sure I worked out how exactly do they go in, because every single company seems to be making them a little bit different. Mine were on the cheaper end. I went with a auto shield, I think, so I can fit them and tell you how they turn out afterwards. If they actually turn out alright, I'll pop a link in this video. Actually, not this video, the one I will film for the windows. You'll find the link in there, and then you'll find my thoughts there. If I have any or there might be no video because I'll mess up. We've all seen that one YouTuber who took 4 of them to cut a window out, and then they cut the hole too big. So we'll start on a door as well, so I can train on a panel that I can actually replace. Because we don't want to be cutting one in here. That's too big, or one in there. But yeah, that's the plan. I'll show you those little clips and how they look now. They don't look the prettiest, but I can see a lot of Sikaflex, and that's the reassuring part, that I know it's not leaking. So that's all that matters at the end of the day. You'll find definitely in a link in the description, you'll find a link for a YouTube video that I found and took a lot of guidance from there. Yeah, so better watch that, because I did not film it. There's plenty on YouTube. I just want to raise the awareness on these vans that you actually have to do that if you want the longevity of the van, and it doesn't matter how old the van is, because the guy whose video I used, I think it only had like 18,000 miles on it, and his was already leaking and plastics were a bit weight. So yeah, let's get cracking. So that's the fixing clips from the inside view. We applied Sikaflex on the outside all around the bead, and you can see after pressing it in, Sikaflex came through the hole, sort of filling up the clip middle, because it had a little cavity in there. So we did go over with an excessive amount of it, but personally I just don't want to leak in at all. So firstly we'll start with this little clip housing, and the way I figure out how it opens is from there's 2 little clips on here, because you don't want to break it. There we go. Go quite gently and it opens up like that, and that's the one part of the cable. So you can see, hopefully you can see, let me check. No, you can't. So if we put it here right in front of it, just literally there's a little bolt that slots in there, the whole mechanism slots in there, and to get it out you can just do this pretty much. Pop that out, and you'll see in a second. Then I'll need to work out how it goes through the sides and the bottom, and yeah, so give me about 10-15 minutes playing around with it, and we should be better. Plastic will not clip out unless you undo these 2 bolts. So the clip is fixed here, so let's get going on that. Don't look like it's going to be as easy. Joke. It's quite easy. So it is a T30. These bolts look like they've not seen any rust, so let's hope they undo quite easily. Yes, they do. Of course they do. Just enough to, possibly not. Let's undo one fully. See how that goes. Now, definitely enough to move that clip and pop it through. And I was so wrong. So. No worries. It's better that than breaking it. and having to buy the whole bloody thing for about £40 I found. Go. Bottom's fully out. The arm's fully out. Hold out. You in. Well, if it only was so easy. Okay, so now all we got left is to put this cable go around here. Just like this. Allowing this to go back into its position. Boom. Now the little cable is moving down there. So then all you do is snap that back up, clip this wire back into this position, clip this back into its position here. Seems like we're golden. So just as a demonstration, if we look at this little clip here, that's the issue I was having. Now as you can see, it's moving nice and gently. Handle releases. Handle fixes. Not sliding anymore. There we go. Closes, opens. If you don't do handle, doesn't go past there. Do the handle, shut it, closed. Locked in the position. All it was. Yeah. Okay. Let's force it back out. If it will come out, but obviously all it was broken under this. So, right, bin. So, mission number 2 today. As you can see, someone hit something with this corner, made the bottom of the light off. So, change the housing. That's the idea. We're going to start removing that out from the inside. Should be just a couple. So, to replace the housing is extremely easy. 3 bolts, just there. Undo these 3, which are T25. And that's pretty much it. So let's position you guys here. Let's get cracking on it. It's easy as that. Now, all we need to do is undo these pins here and transfer the inner part into the new housing. That was extremely easy. Let's just figure out which way it was. Yeah, clearly the other way around. So let's touch the line itself for. Okay, if we're gonna go the other way around, they don't line up, so you can't even get it wrong. name, address off. Just because we're paranoid about that. Now, it's invoice. So we paid for the part $28.99. Done. New housing, new cheap housing. Made in China, aftermarket, but just as good. Keep these bunks for the future in the front for now. Keep the invoice for everything I do to the van. Right, time for a snack, I think. Well, first I'll test the light, then we'll have a snack. Then we'll see what we can do about this reverse light. So, just to wrap up the video, here's the next day. Lights in. Did not film the cleaning of it or anything like that, purely because I was in a rush and rain was coming down quite slowly. So what I ended up doing is the rubber seal you've seen. I've binned that because it is no good. I used the glue seal, basically double-sided seal that came with the camera, and I use Sikflex just because I'm a little bit paranoid about leaks. Pop that in. Yeah, I sort of wired it in, so we can see here is I spliced the two positives together. Basically, one is for the camera, one is the one that goes with the camera lead, and I spliced both of those. You can't see anymore because I hidden it a little bit, into the blue and white cable, which is the reverse light. I spliced in the black negative terminal into negative here instead of doing the under the bolt because I did not have the correct tools at the time. Obviously I'll fix that. I'll remove the splicing, clean it up nicely, wire it up back, and then I'll use one of those little end bits for the nut here. So we pulled it all the way through. As you can see, we have got the camera monitor temporary wired in there. All I needed is a negative from there, but I hidden all the wires in there. Use the negative terminal. There's another bolt going in there. I did not splice in there. I just attached to that negative terminal. And the positive for the monitor, I spliced in the positive that comes with the camera video cable, and there's a little positive end like this on the cable if you're gonna look at the kits. So that way, once I pop my reverse in, what happens is the monitor starts and the camera starts, and straight away you can see reverse feed. It takes about, I'd say, 1 second, sometimes 2 seconds to start up. I've not measured it, but that's roughly what it takes, and that's the way I wired it, just because I'm not planning to use any other cameras on those monitors. Obviously I will fix that monitor permanently later on in the date, because the idea is to rip out the whole headliner there at some stage. Put sound deadening panels on the front. Well, there should be some, but we'll put more. Insulate it. Put some fixings in, because I'm planning on putting a shelf there with a door, and that's when I'm going to sort out all the wiring then, and we will decide where to place that monitor, because ideally what I want is, when the funds allow me, to get a Remis blind set. It is about £500. I know it's overkill and too expensive for what it does, but it does give that original look and the convenience of it being there, so you don't have to mess around with the inserts and just put them away every time and stuff like that. So tinkering with the idea, but that's later down the line depending on the finances, so we shall see. just a quick update on those. So last update is ignition is on. Nah, don't mind the errors. Ignition is on, obviously car's off, clutch in, reverse in, boom. I think that doesn't want to focus it, but yeah, that's the view through the rear camera. So just to demonstrate a little bit more, reverse out, reverse in, yeah. That wasn't reverse, that was second. But anyway, out, in, as I mentioned, well, 2 seconds before you get the feed. 2 seconds before you get the feed on the camera, which for me is completely fine, and for the application I'm going to use it, it's completely fine. For my use it's suitable. For someone not as experienced on driving the vans and reversing them, if you don't have parking sensors, I would go for a wider view, because with this one, where the view is a bit tight, the corner is cut off a tiny little bit. You can see the van corner, but the basically whatever's in front of it, because I do park to the bin house in reverse every day, I can go another 20 centimeters to what the camera says, but again, it will depend on your situation. So yeah, that's a wrap up on these little jobs, and yeah, see you in the next one, guys. Hope you're enjoying it.